Feeling aimless? That's a scary feeling when trying to run a business or gain personal success. Keep watching to learn what you can do about it right now. Have you ever felt alone in business? I know I have, especially when I first started my business. It was so lonely. I didn't know any other business owners. I wasn't in any networking groups at the time. And there were days when I just felt kind of aimless. And that can be a scary feeling. And maybe you've been in business for a while and you're just having one of those moments when you feel aimless. I've felt that way as well. So either way, I want to share some tips with you on goal setting that can really help you get to the next level in your business as fast as you'd like to. First, let's start at the beginning. You have to be crystal clear on what you want. Yes, you've heard that before, but here's the thing. Often we kind of have a vague idea of what we'd like to create, but it's not crystal clear. And when it's not crystal clear, it's really challenging to create it. And so let's take a moment to tune in to what you really want. So provided you're not driving, I invite you to close your eyes for just a moment and drop from your head down into your heart, because this is where your heart's desires are. And once you're in your heart, I want you to ask yourself, what do I really desire? What do I really want? And then notice what pops up. This is where your heart's desires live. This is what you truly, truly want. And so often I find that when I talk to my clients, they're in their head. I'll ask them, like, what do you want? They're kind of up here, just thinking, well, I think I want this and I think I want this. And often they're not sure. Another way to shift it to get clarity in what you want is to ask yourself, what am I tolerating in my business or my life right now? What am I tolerating that I no longer want? Because when you make a list of the things you're tolerating, you'll see that when you flip those things on the other side, you'll know exactly what you want. For example, in business, when I ask someone what they don't want, my clients will often say, I don't want to work all the time anymore. Or I don't want to feel worried about money anymore. Well, what's on the flip side of that? When it comes to money, they want to make more, right? They want to be in an overflow of money. When it comes to work time, they want to work less. Most of our clients, when they meet us, they're working 40, 50, 60, some even more than that per week. Instead, what they want to do is work maybe 20 to 30 hours a week, and we help them do that. So that's where you got to begin. You got to be honest with yourself, not coming up with the goals that you think other people want for you or that you think are okay, but really tuning into your heart and what you want. Second, it's really important to remember that you are 99% more likely to achieve your goals simply by writing them down. 99%. I learned that statistic when I was researching my fourth book, The Belief Zone. And I was kind of blown away by it. I thought, oh my gosh, 99% more likely to achieve our goals simply by writing them down. And yet, unfortunately, only about 10 to 15% of the population actually ever even writes their goals down. How sad is that, right? People don't even take a moment to write their goals down. So as you're listening to this, now that you've tuned into your goals, make sure you write them down, because writing them down brings them to life. Third, if you want to supercharge your goals, I have a little bit of a secret for you. When I was writing my book, The Belief Zone, and doing a lot of research, I went back through all of my journals, and I was looking, because I have a lot of journals. I don't know about you, but I have a lot of journals, and most of my journals are just filled with goals. It's not like I sit there and journal and write a lot of things. I just write goals down. And when I looked back through my journals, I was looking at my goal setting process to see what really worked. And one of the things I noticed is that I had, at some point, had started to put check boxes in front of my goals. Now think about this. We are trained to write task lists and put check boxes in front of it, right? I'm sure you've done this, right? You're like, oh, I have this to-do list and I'm going to put check boxes in front of it. Because that check box says to the goal, I'm going to complete you, I'm going to check you off. Now, most of us, when we write our goals down, we're trained to number them or use bullet points. Most of us number them. And think about this. This seems like it seems like a kind of a small thing. It seems like a tiny aspect of writing your goals down. But this is the one thing that will help you supercharge your goals. When you write your goals down and you number them, you are telling your subconscious mind the order in which you want to create them. And what if that's not the order in which you want to create them? What if you'd rather have them come to fruition a lot sooner? So I was thinking about that one day and I thought, man, I looked back and I said, at some point, I started to put check boxes in front of my goals. and all of a sudden my goals started to happen faster. And I believe that's because my subconscious mind didn't have them in a certain order. It didn't have to wait for them to happen. I could just go through and start checking them off. My subconscious mind was trained to get those goals checked off as quickly as possible. So if you want to supercharge your goals, start to use check boxes and watch what happens. I can tell you that my clients who use check boxes in front of their goals reach their goals much faster. And a lot of times they experience even more synchronicity. It's like someone shows up or somehow the goal just gets completed and they're amazed. We don't have to understand exactly why it works better, just know that it works. The other important thing you want to remember when writing your goals down is to align your values with your goals or they won't happen. This one's often overlooked, but here's the thing. If there's a values misalignment with a goal, it's just not going to happen. So for example, let's say you've written a goal down that you want to live in a certain neighborhood and have a certain kind of home. And yet, values-wise, you'd actually rather be living in the country with a bunch of acres and have a bunch of animals. So the values misalignment is massive. And so when you think about reaching this goal or you want to have this home, it's probably not going to happen because your heart's desire is to be out in the country, roaming with some geese or some ducks or some cattle or whatever it is that's on your dream list. So you can see when the goals aren't aligned with your values, they're not going to happen. And so if there's some goals on your list that you've had for a while, I'd go back and look at them and just ask, is this in alignment with what I want to create? Is this in alignment with my values? And if it's not, ask yourself, what do I really want? And then write that goal down. Finally, find someone to hold you accountable until you reach your goals. Again, this seems kind of obvious, but I find that most people think they can do it on their own. Like especially as business owners, we're moving really quickly. We do other things by ourselves. We think, I can just handle it. But it's really hard to hold yourself accountable. It's really hard to hold that belief when you have doubt. So when you find someone to hold you accountable, you can also ask them to help hold that belief with you. The belief that you can grow your business to another level. The belief that you can have that home in the country or whatever you desire. When you find someone to hold you accountable and hold belief with you, it's so much easier to reach your goals. Thanks for hanging out with me. And because you're still here, I want to share a pro tip with you. Once you've written your goals down, you want to go through each goal and work on your limiting beliefs about each one. Because sometimes that can prevent those limiting beliefs from coming true for you. So dig into that and just ask yourself, what's the story I'm telling myself about why I can or can't have this goal? What am I saying to myself? And when you start to dig into that limiting belief, then ask yourself, what's not true about this limiting belief? And as you write those things down, you'll notice that that limiting belief just starts to disintegrate. So when you do that work, it'll help you reach your goals even faster. So if you're feeling aimless or you've been feeling aimless, I hope this inspired you and motivated you to focus on your goals again and really tune into your heart's desire in terms of what you want to create next in your business and in your life. Remember, be crystal clear on what you want to create next and know that you're 99% more likely to achieve your goals simply by writing them down. If you want to supercharge them, use check boxes because check boxes tell that goal that you're going to check it off and your subconscious mind knows that it's going to happen. Make sure your goals align with your values, right? Or it's going to be really hard for them to happen because they're not aligned with your heart. And finally, find someone to hold you accountable and hold your belief until you reach your goal or goals. If you enjoyed today's video, stick with me because up next, we're going to talk about whether or not your network is your net worth. And remember, your 2X is waiting for you too.